Oh, hi guys and girls, here again. Welcome back to what's probably the last project in this workshop, all being equal, but probably not the last project on this channel. Rough Cut 2022, which is something that there was a bit of pressure to sort of instigate, and I hope people who put that pressure on actually made a video. But if you have a look at that hashtag, Rough Cut 2022, videos released today, you should see that there's quite a few. I hope there's quite a few, and you go and watch some of them. You might find another channel to watch. Things have been a bit quiet in the YouTube machining world. Cutting tool, got to make a cutting tool. That's pretty loose actually, and there were 1,000 cutting tools that I could have made and made a video of, and none of them would have taken a whole lot of work to do. But I bought these from Myfordboy in the UK as a casting kit, I guess. Nice casting. It's a zinc alloy casting. It's pretty heavy, and some 3D prints come with it. Some fairly tidy, couple of 3 pulleys, and some drawings, which is cool. So this is a copy of a Marklin, turn of the century Marklin live steam accessory, I believe, and I've got a few different live steam accessories. The vintage ones, and I thought maybe I'll set it up as a workshop with the Myfordboy steam engine. So Rough Cut 2022 is all about making this for me. Get this sorted. Gonna have to fettle this up. It wants a bit of a grind up, sand up. Probably going to hit this on the linisher first, this casting, clean that up, and a bit of a quick rub there with a file or a drum sander or whatever. Clean this one up and all round here. Won't take much cleaning up. Machining work on it's got to be flat on the bottom. It's got to be parallel here. It's got to have 2 holes in it for shafting. This one's tapped, and this one's right through with just a reamed hole for a shaft. 2 holes in here for bolts, hold down bolts, and 1 in the back here for a hold down bolt. So it's a matter of getting this flat and this parallel somewhere near. And probably if you bought this kit, you could clean it up pretty easy with a file and make it with a drill press. It's not much to it, a little bit of lathe work. You could set this up in a bigger lathe and machine both these, but probably I'll do them in the mill. Might set this up in the mill as well. Machine, I guess this one. Not sure about that. And machine this one. We'll see how we go with that. But some of the other bits we need are pretty straightforward. We need a shaft, which looks like this, 36mm long, 4mm diameter. That's pretty straightforward. It'll only take me a minute. And needs a couple of 4mm washers on it, it says. Have a look here, there's a pin, which is 18mm long with M3 thread, 8mm on the diameter, and 5mm hex head. Pretty straightforward little pin. And there's a bush, 8.5 long to go in here. And 4mm diameter, which I guess goes in one of these. There's probably a pretty good fit in there. So in one of these, that one or that one. So that's straightforward. These 2 push on the other shaft as they go through. So there's not much to it. Where do we start? You go over to the lathe, I guess, and we'll make up this one, and we might find a bit of hex and make this one up. So there's the first shaft made up, very simple job. You can probably press one wheel on it without too many problems now. See how that lines up and fits. We'll find a bit of hexagon, we'll make the second. We never had this zeroed anywhere near close, so I'm going to have another go at that. We probably wouldn't have done it in 2 passes otherwise. 4.2 we're at. It's 1.2 millimetres. .2. Give us 0.6, which is halfway, I think. 0.8, 1.2. That's close enough to exactly as we're going to get. I'm going to give that a little bit of a rub, just a beam report, and we'll call that. And that's the second thing nearly done. We're going to finish this off. We'll just slice this off with a hacksaw pretty quick. We'll slice this with a hacksaw and give him a polish up. So we've got a bolt, which isn't very big, but it's just the thing. And we've got a pin, which also isn't very big, but just the thing. All the drawings are scale, so it's not a big deal to make it work. Compare it and make sure you, I mean, double check's a good thing, and scale drawings are the answer for that. Now, very impressed with that and how he's got his 3D printer dialed in. That's actually pretty good fit. So there's that done. The other one goes on here with a bush in it. We'll put a bush in that next. Make a little bush to go in there. And this of course goes through here. So, I don't know how much footage we got here because the camera's messing around with me. But this really needs to be machined now. We've got a bush here. and the pin for it. And we've got this one pressed in here nicely. We need 2 holes here for that. And we need to machine this and this top and bottom face. So this needs a clean up first. I think that's what we're going to do next. And start thinking about setting it up to machine it. So, I've got these marked up here and here. This is pretty straightforward. I've milled these flat and milled this one flat too, sort of, where the table sits, and cleaned all this casting up. There's no real measurements or anything on this. We've got a 4mm hole in here. We've got an M3 hole tapped in here. We've got 2 holes in here, 3mm diameter and one in the bottom to screw it down, and then the table goes on. So there's a couple of ways we can do this, and could have done this quite easily with a file. Could have cleaned this up and this up nicely with a file without any problems at all, but we've done it in the mill. And these would be fine drilled. Like, you could just sit this one up on a block of wood and drill this one and this one. And that's probably what I'm going to do. If we drill this one 3.8, 3.9, And this one 2.5 for M3 tap and thread it. And this one screws in here, like so. Pretty straightforward with a washer. And this one goes through here like so. Also pretty straightforward, not much to it. So I'm just going to put this on a block of wood. Set the drill press table up nice and neat. We could just set this up here, bolt it down on the mill and drill this one and this one, and coordinate drill them, get them up and down parallel and everything else. Probably not that critical. It's a toy basically. It doesn't actually do very much, so let's just drill these. So pretty much all I've done here, this light's in the way a bit, but all I've done is set this up nice and square table. If you're capable of that, check it both ways. If it doesn't do it, then you might have to find a better way or shim it or something. But this one's pretty good. And I've just drilled that 3.8 through there. We'll slip this out of here. We might find a 4mm reamer and run through there as well. Magical formula for selecting a 3.8mm drill. It was the sharp one. That's probably a bit rough, but that's how it is. And we can put a 2.5 for an M3 bolt through the other one to put our screw in. And there's the two bolts. The two holes. We're going to tap this one and then assemble them and see how it all looks. We can probably, if we've just drilled these and you're not real happy with the way the drills go, we can sort of eyeball this. Right? If we put this shaft through here, we can just check to make sure that's in line before we keep tapping the hole. And we'll probably move it a little bit with a tap in this aluminium if we're careful. And if we have a look this way too, it's pretty good. So happy with that. So back into this a bit this afternoon, cut a piece of aluminium, 8.8 aluminium, because that's all I had and I think it's plenty strong enough, and drilled the holes, just cut that out with the shears and filed the slot in it. That was pretty straightforward. That goes on there like that with a couple of countersunk screws. And some judicious filing, to be honest. I've drilled these first and then marked them up in the top of there and centre punched them. Just used a pin vise in the drill press and drilled them rather than find myself a long series drill. And we might just tap these nice and square through here. Check that it is nice and square. Then if we drill this one, M3, we can put that screw in it and we can just tap that one through that existing hole, and that might move it enough to get everything nicely lined up, I hope. That's the theory. It's looking pretty good. Everything's nice and square and straight. Run this tap through here. sure that's all nice and straight and square. There we go. So now all there is to do is to drill this one out to 3mm. And counter bore them so that these screws sit nice and flush. In here. And start assembling it. So there we go. There's the table on it. It looks pretty good actually. It's got it's not bad for a toy. So we can put this in here now, like so. And we can put this in here with a little bit of Loctite. Make a bit of an effort when we put this together to get the spokes the same way around on the wheels. That looks pretty good if we let that set there. It's probably a smart idea to run something down here. I used a square file last time, it fits nicely in the hole. And just make sure this lines up, and I think with the rubber band on it, it's going to be pretty good there beside the slot. Be pretty happy with that. This seems a fraction tight here. I don't like that as much as I would have hoped. And I'm probably just going to run this reamer through here until we clean it out. And get this running a little bit better. Last job is to put the other pulley on. And we're very, very close to being finished. So there we go. I found a belt, or a rubber band rather, which runs pretty nice. And I was going to bolt this up on this board here with this little engine and run it with a belt. I've got a spring belt on here that would run this nicely. but run out of time and my screws are all packed away in a box somewhere, so it's not going to happen. This is a Myfordboy steam engine. This is run it pretty nice. I think it needs a pulley on it as well. So at this point, not going to happen. But that's the little bandsaw finish. Pretty awesome project. You do it no worries at all with a file and a saw and even just a hand drill, mainly a drill press at least, and it'd come up pretty good. Like it really captures the feel of of an old time toy. I really like that. So thanks, Myfordboy, and thanks everyone for watching. And especially thanks anyone who's contributed to Rough Cut 2022, which is what this is all about. Something a bit different anyway. And go and enjoy some of the other videos. Check out the hashtag and be kind to each other.